other big news. Canelo Alvarez actually put out a statement that, in the Terrence Crawford bout, he has everything to lose and nothing to gain. And of course, that lit the internet on fire. Oh, he's scared of Terrence Crawford. He's ducking Terrence Crawford. He said he has everything to lose because he's going to lose. I can't say I see it that way, but I'm interested in how did you see Canelo's comments, and what do you think?
I mean, if Canelo is truly ducking, because I don't know, some people have I would say a nuanced version or definition of ducking, right? So it depends on how someone defines ducking. But for those who believe Canelo Alvarez is ducking Terrence Crawford, then Terrence Crawford is ducking Jerome Boots Ennis, right? And that will kind of tell me whether or not you're a Terrence Crawford fanboy, right? Or you're being objective and you're being fair across the board. So, but from my honest opinion, I don't see it as ducking, because you got a man that's coming up from 147 all the way 168 to fight the bigger man. In my honest opinion, I don't see how Terrence Crawford beats Canelo Alvarez, especially from jumping up 3 weight classes. That's a totally different animal. That's a totally different beast. And I see what Canelo's talking about, right? Like, imagine Canelo or Crawford moving up 3 weight classes and he beats Canelo. Bro, that literally, I think that kind of puts a blemish on Canelo's career. You lost to the smaller man, which will play a significant factor in this bout, right? And in terms of, you can argue skill for skill, maybe Crawford's better, right? He's probably just more gifted. But at the end of the day, the small great little man will never beat the big, great, larger man, right? It's the saying is something along those lines. I know I'm butchering it, but nevertheless, I see what Canelo's saying, But honestly, Canelo needs to go and fight Benavidez. That's my take.
Yeah. And I mean, I like Canelo. I mean, I like Canelo. I like Canelo's fighting style, right? I like, when he's on his game. He's obviously a great fighter. I'm not going to say I'm a huge Canelo fan. There's certain things I feel like about Canelo's matchmaking, reminiscent of Floyd Mayweather's matchmaking, which I always, not every fight I was a fan of. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they do have some good bouts in there. You can't deny some of those. But in this instance, I think Canelo is actually correct. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Terrence is bringing a belt up there. There's really no benefit for Canelo. I don't even think he's looking at it like, yo, I might lose. This is too risky. I think it's just like, okay, let's say I take this fight. If I win, then they're going to be like, oh, guess what? You're still ducking everybody because you fought this little guy that you knew you were going to win. So why did you fight him? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, because I think it sounds good right now, throwing it out there and on paper. But I think this is just my opinion. I could be wrong, because Terrence Crawford's a magnificent fighter. I think once you see it in the ring, you're going to be like, wow, that was inevitable to happen. You know what I'm saying? I just think Canelo's too big, too durable. His chin is too good. You know what I'm saying? I can't see Terrence winning that fight. And that takes nothing away from Terrence. He's obviously an all-time great, but I just don't think that's the fight we need. Like you said, if Terrence wants to stay at 47, if the Errol rematch is off, as Mauricio Suleiman's insinuating, then Jerome Boots Ennis is there. If you want to go to 54 and explore 54, then I think some fights can be made there. But the Canelo fight kind of just seems like a cash out fight. But I just, I completely agree with Canelo. It's not worth his time, in my opinion.
Yeah. And Crawford's just gonna have to figure out his situation, but I know he just want legacy fights at this point. But I mean, that's he biting off more than he could chew if he want to go up to fight Canelo. And and Jamel realized that real quick during this fight. Not saying him and Jamel's the same fighter, but it's just levels. The intangibles, like the physical attributes, play a huge role in the boxing bout. Punching power, strength, size, speed, stamina. Those probably play more of a factor in you winning than actually skills, right? So, I mean, that's. But we'll have to wait and see, man, because there's rumors now saying the Crawford and Spence fight is it's not gonna happen essentially with Mauricio Suleiman and a few other sources as well. Not sure how that's gonna pan out. What do you think is his options? What do you think is his best options at this point?
Well, I'm kind of, first of all, I'm kind of curious like how Mauricio Suleiman has a say in that. Like I can understand if feedback, we're not going to sanction that fight, but the fight could still happen, right? Just like if they weren't going to sanction Beterbiev versus Bivol, the fight was still going to happen just without that belt on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, unless someone just breaches the contract, you know what I'm saying? Or if it was, obviously if the rematch was never initiated, but I feel like we've heard several times that it was. So unless the contract is breached, I just don't see how the fight doesn't happen. And like I said, I just feel like they're just creating controversy around the fight. It was so one-sided. So many people are like, I will not spend money on that again. But I feel like you create drama, controversy, you get people thinking about it, and you kind of build the audience back into it. It's kind of what I think is going on. But if that fight is indeed off the table, I think Crawford's going to go to 54, and I think he's going to fight Zoo. Obviously, now people are saying the winner of Zoo Thurman, because obviously it's boxing, anybody can win. But I think Zoo's favorited, so I think Crawford versus Zoo will probably be the most likely fight we see if it's not the rematch between Crawford and Spence. So I think that's probably what's most likely. As you mentioned, and I think this is a fair point. He says like Jaron Ennis has nothing to offer him, but that's kind of like how Canelo feels about Crawford. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I don't think Boots is gonna get the fight, but for Boots' career, I wish minds would be made up. And if Terrence is gonna move on, just drop the belt, then Boots should get a chance. Stanionis, whose career was halted by the Virgil Ortiz situation, should get a chance. And you got some other guys there at 47. I guess Mario Barrios is probably up for a chance, but I mean, if he fights Boots, I'm sorry, Barrios, you won't be getting a belt in that situation. But the Crawford thing, kind of, to me, it's like the equivalent of like if Canelo went to heavyweight right now to fight Usyk, you're just like, what? It's just, I just don't think it's a realistic fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And obviously, like I said, Crawford has accomplished what he's accomplished. Canelo's accomplished what he's accomplished, but I just don't know. What I'm saying, how that trumps Benavidez getting the fight. And I know there was a video like a while back where I was kind of questioning, like, is Crawford looking to campaign at 68? Like, would he fight guys like Benavidez and Plant and other guys, or is he just looking for the Canelo fight? And I think we got the answer. It's really just a cash out fight. I don't think he's looking to campaign at the weight class. So I just don't think it's fair to guys who have been campaigning at the weight class and who have been whatever mandatories or jumping up the rankings to try to get a shot at the title, since Canelo holds all four of them. You know what I mean?
Agreed. Well said. Well said.
Yeah. So definitely jump in the comment section. Tell us, are we wrong? Does Crawford have a real chance in the fight against Canelo? Obviously we know he's skilled, but is Canelo just too big for him? So definitely like and comment. Just let us know what your thoughts are. Of course, it's opinion, so everyone has one. So I'm interested to hear what you got to say as well. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.